What's up, everybody? I'm back here with another Lions Talk video. It's been, I think, about a year since the last one here, and the first one and only one that's existed so far, which was actually, I remember a video I made about Michael Badgley tearing his hamstring last year and the situation that followed it at kicker. So I think we turned out pretty well with that. I was cautiously optimistic with the Bates situation because I think a lot of people were. You know, we saw what he could do in the UFL, and you just hope he can do that in the NFL. And then we saw last year, yeah, he's got it. He's got it. So I think that's something myself and a lot of Lions fans have wanted for a long time is, you know, another Jason Hanson, another Matt Prater. And it seems like we got it. So great on that front. The reason I'm making the video today, though, is a little more, and I did want to stop for a second, apologize for the crazy lighting. I'm working on it. It took me 9 months to make a second video here. So anyway, back to the reason for today's video. So been seeing a lot of talk online, Lions subreddit, people, a couple other YouTube channels, people commenting about maybe some people's stance on Brad Holmes' perceived lack of inaction. Perceived lack of action, perceived lack of inaction would be the opposite of what I was trying to say. Yeah, perceived lack of action. And I think that just to bring a little bit of understanding to the situation, the way that I see it is he's probably sort of viewing the roster and roster moves outside of all of the injuries that happened last year. And that might sound crazy because you may say, okay, well, somebody tears their ACL, somebody tears their patella tendon. How do you know they're ever going to be back? I'm sure he's accounting for that. That's not what I mean. What I mean by that is looking at the roster, looking at the cap hits, you look at the Zadarius Smith situation. A lot of people are not happy with us not re-signing him. I think a lot of people are confused about the signing of Marcus Davenport. Never mind that the cap hit between those two players is $20 million difference, with Zadarius obviously being paid a lot more. Had things gone according to how the roster was built last year, we never would have had Zadarius on the team. So starting there. Now, obviously, Davenport, I understand the other side of the argument here because Davenport came into last year with an injury history, with concerns about all of that, and they all came true immediately. I believe he tore his tricep week 2 or week 1 even. And then you know, then immediately we're thrown back into that revolving door of find somebody to play opposite Hutch. And then the rest of the injuries came. But I think just when you go back to the situation with Zadarius, Holmes was never gonna extend him, and realistically, in a perfect world, never would have signed him. So I understand the thinking, and I think it was a little, you know, a lot of people said last year when we signed him, you know, this is a rental. And I think because if you think about it, Brad was in the situation of my defense is decimated at a level that we haven't seen in the NFL really ever. However, we are somehow in the driver's seat for the first seed here. And I got to make a move because, as we all know, in the NFL, every day is fleeting, every season is fleeting, careers, they're short. So when you have the opportunity, you got to go. And so I think he was looking at the situation, and that's why we made the trade for Zadarius last year. And I don't fault him for that, and I don't fault him for not re-signing at a level that is higher than what he is comfortable for paying for Zadarius Smith's production. I think that that's entirely reasonable. We got other big contracts coming up. Hutch's contract is coming up. I think I'm okay with running it back with Davenport this year. I think it's important that Reader, and I think it's important that Aleem comes back healthy. We know that an ACL for anybody is tough. It's, in my mind, got to be very tough for someone in that type of nose guard position where you're, lining up for 60 snaps a game and just shoving yourself into a center or a guard, using that entire muscle chain, and obviously the knee is a huge part of it. So hopefully he comes back good. I think the secondary, we probably could stand to focus on the secondary even a little more than the D-line. And maybe that's the plan, I don't know. So I think I need to do a little more research before I make any other comments or project any ideas for what I think may be happening. But the big thing for me now is people being upset and calling Brad unserious for not re-signing Zadarius Smith. I mean, Zadarius Smith we were in a luxury position last year to be able to sign Zadarius Smith for a playoff run where the defense was getting destroyed and we needed a body. And thank you to him for doing what he did last year. There was a couple of very exciting moments with him last year, and he fit in great. So, I think it was what it was. We knew what it was then, and I think to think now that it's anything other than what it was then, it's a little disingenuous as fans or as individuals commentating on the team. So that's all I really got. Hope everybody's doing good. I will try to make some more videos here as we go along. Maybe up towards the draft I'll make one or two more. But yeah.